Try not to claim too much Gemini, because Gemini chicks are but
What the Donald?
Listen, baby, I'm that guy.
Bringing out the government name.
The most significant thing, I think, besides me being born that day, you're welcome, motherfucker.
Dick state.
She is fucking somebody up.
Dick.
Oh, fuck, she muted us.
Yeah.
I'm bumming. It's a good time to take a piss anyway, right?
Yeah.
She eats like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah.
To stretch the sauce.
You got to stretch the sauce there. If you want to clean shitters for a living, you hire
Professional shitters.
I was going to say that, Sam.
If you want to clean shitters, you
Hire professional
shitters.
which I was.
Speaking of big bitches.
Say
Speaking
that
of
10
big
times fast,
bitches,
dude.
that's fucking harder to say than what I thought it was. The views depicted in this podcast do not necessarily represent
Yeah. Womp, 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 womp.
I'm Jake Jacobs.
This is Sammy.
This is the Don.
And you're listening to What the Fuck? Welcome to What the Fuck, the podcast where we say all the things you're thinking.
But probably shouldn't.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to season 2. You talk about a what the fuck moment. I sold this big account in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, my hometown. Me and a buddy of mine, we're both senior vice presidents of this company. In order to celebrate, he and I went to the Hustler Club. It's in Baton Rouge, just right over by LSU.
I assume it's a titty bar.
We have one in Nashville.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's very clean. There's no smoking in there.
Oh,
It's a classy joint with classy chicks in it. And we're sitting there, we're having some scotch. We're both in suits. And this smoking hot little gal comes over and sits next to me. They want to get you back there for, the $20, $40 lap dance, whatever they charge.
Right.
And I get to talking to her. And I'm not into all that shit, I'm not into it, but it's like that night I just want to have a couple drinks, move along. Come to find out, I'm friends with her dad. He and I went to high school together.
Oh, God.
And I says, Bambi, whatever the fuck her stage name was. I said, does your dad know? She said, yeah, he's been in here before and saw me dance. I'm like, oh, I bet that was pretty fucking.
It's like weirdly incestuous to me.
I like where this show's going.
I watch a lot of different types of videos on YouTube. Like I'm all over the place. But not once do I ever recall searching within YouTube's algorithm for porn stars or anything porn related, because YouTube doesn't have that kind of content. Or so I thought.
Well, they may have like porn stars, but like they're fully clothed and like,
Yes. So
they're just like vlogging.
This video popped up, and it was about a porn star that is from Don and I's era. Her name was Ginger Lynn. Now,
Hell yeah. I'm sorry.
yeah. Now, Ginger Lynn is linked to Charlie Sheen and Hollywood, and she's a well-known name. She's retired now, but I don't know why this popped up on my feed, but it was an interview with her. She had to do 4 months in federal prison for drug charges and something. It was
Good Lord.
But it caught my interest. And I knew, being YouTube, it wasn't going to be anything pornographic. It was just an interview with her. Like, what happened? So I watched
She's
like
still
half
fucking
of it.
hot, dude. She is
Now
still
my fucking feed is full of fucking interviews with fucking porn stars. Like, and it's,
Because you watched one video, man. That algorithm got you.
yeah, it got me. So now my YouTube is flooded with interviews with porn stars. And I've watched a couple of them, and they're basically just talking about, hey, we were just trying to make a buck. I mean, that was a living for us.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put yourself through college, baby.
Some of those gals that are our age now, Don, they really didn't do it for that long. They made a couple hundred videos, made some quick cash, and got the fuck out.
A couple of hundred videos. Do you know how much dick that is?
Yeah.
That's a lot of cock.
Yeah.
Not
Lily
as
Phillips.
much as our girl Lily.
No, Lily, God bless Lily.
One of the segments was Lily Phillips. I had to check out to see what she looked like.
I mean, she's a pretty girl.
She's also British.
Yeah,
or
she's
Australian
British.
or something.
Yes, because, us Americans would never do such foul filth.
Here's my what the fuck for the week, meeting a friend for dinner. And I got turned around on the interstate up there and had to go down 2 exits, turn around and come back. Well, while I'm turning around at a stoplight, I see this car at the intersection of the stoplight, and they're turning left to come down to pass me. And I'm looking at this car, and I'm like, there's something weird about their trunk, because the trunk was like cracked open. And then I start looking even further. There is a hand sticking out of the trunk and is holding a TV in a box. I'm assuming 50-inch TV. But what I couldn't figure out was
They stuck someone back there to hold it because they didn't have ties or anything
in the
to
car.
keep it in the car.
This was a 4-door something or other. They must have went shopping at Walmart. Get a carton of eggs, get a thing of milk. Let's get a 55-inch TV. Oops, oh shit, it won't fit in the car.
Right.
They literally laid down the trunk to where the back seat folded down and had someone either lying on their back or lying on their stomach. I couldn't tell because it was too far away.
Mm-hmm.
But there was literally a person lying down in the car holding on to the TV.
Just cruising down the road.
Truly, what the that's when you go across the street to a Home Depot or a Lowe's and for $20 rent a fucking truck to get it home.
Yeah. And I thought about that when I
So
saw it. I'm like,
dangerous.
there's one way that this would work in my mind that I could make it seem somewhat palatable. I mean, if they had taken a bungee cord and bungeed from underneath the car and up over and, just at
keep
least
the lid
one bungee
shut.
cord. But no, whoever this person was
a human bungee cord.
I don't know if they were on the interstate or not, but that would have been hard to hold on to because the wind hitting that box.
Listen, when you find a smart TV at the right price, you become superhuman. That's how that works.
So that takes me back to my days of working at Best Buy at home theater.
Yeah. I remember when you worked at Best Buy, and I liked it a lot. I remember when you were the guitar instructor at Best Buy.
Yeah. No, these people would come in and buy these TVs knowing that they didn't have a truck. They'd pull up in a fucking Dodge Neon and want to take a 65-inch plasma home. Oh, will it fit in my car? What about if I take it out of the box? No, it's not going to fit.
And
right?
you can't lay a plasma down.
No, you can't. And then they were like, well, can you help us take it out of the box? Nope, that's not part of our job. If you want to take it out of the box and try to put it in your car, that's on you. But you're going to
take
have to
it
do
out
it outside of the
into
store.
the parking lot.
Yep.
And then if you damage it, that's on you, bitch.
It's on you, baby.
When I first started working for Best Buy, it was right at the end of the era of tube TVs. And Sony had this 34-inch tube TV. Huge motherfucker. That was high def. I mean, it had a terrific picture on it, but it was a tube TV. Big
Probably
and
weighed a
heavy
ton.
as a motherfucker. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Every time somebody would buy one of those, we're like, oh my God, we have to get this out of the warehouse. And it's like your back is already telling you to fuck off, right? But true to form, we had a guy pull up in a Dodge fucking Neon.
Nah.
I'm not just picking on Dodge Neons, but I mean, he literally
Oh, my
pulled
We
brother
might
used
as
to
well
drive
while we're
one.
here.
There's between them and what I like to call PT losers because of the ugliest fucking vehicle on the face of this earth.
You know, it's the same car, right?
Yeah, it just elongated ever so slightly. They're
So
ugly
this guy
as
pulls
shit.
up. At least he asked first. He's like, do you think it'll fit in my car? And I'm like, what do you have? He's like, a Dodge Neon. I'm like, no, it's not going to fit in your car.
Not in your
He's like, are you
wildest
sure?
dreams.
I'm like, I'm positive, dude. You can push your passenger seat all the way back and lay it flat back. It's still not going to fit. It's not going to fit in the trunk? No, hell no.
Hell no.
So he had it in his head that he was going to get it out the front of the store, take it out of the box, and fit it into his car. And I think he ended up going across the street to Home Depot to rent one of their trucks.
$19 for the
$20 a
first
day.
7 minutes.
You know, you could have done that before you came in and bought the motherfucker, but no, you had to make life more difficult.
People are not that bright.
Talked about my colonoscopy and that whole fiasco
Ooh,
being
let's
scheduled.
talk about that.
That's scheduled for May 23rd. So now May 16th is my surgery on my arm, which is my dominant arm, right? So when they set the date for that, I said, is that going to cause some issues? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, surgery on my dominant arm on May 16th and my colonoscopy is May 23rd. And she goes, no, that is for your own comfort level. I'm like, that's not what I'm getting at. The surgery is on my dominant arm. There is a certain amount of preparation that goes into a colonoscopy. If you
How am
know
I
what
going to
mean.
wipe my ass?
Exactly. And they're like, oh, we're going to leave that up to you.
You're going to have to do the old switcheroony.
You're going to have to get a bidet.
So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Sammy. So I went up.
I have one. I love it.
So while I was there, I went upstairs to the third floor to talk to my therapist. I said, Julia, you might be pleased to know that surgery is scheduled for May 16th. And she stopped. She went, you're going to need a bidet. That's the first word ever.
It's fucking awesome.
I'm like, I don't know if I can. I just, the whole thing of having water squirted up my ass. I don't
Honestly,
know if I could get
though,
used to that.
it's so nice. Like, it doesn't go up your
mean,
asshole, Jake.
I'm just.
It's a nice, light cleansing. It saves you on toilet paper, for one.
I can imagine, yeah.
Because you only have to wipe the once just to get, like, the
Right.
moisture.
Just as a residual.
Residuals, yeah.
So you're not pulling your pants up and then your underwear, like, super soaked.
So that's kind of funny, Jay. So I just had a colonoscopy 2 days ago.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
2 days of prep. So I was prepping while at work.
While at work.
While
Oh
at
my
work, I was prepping while I was
God.
at work. You know, it's like, listen, and I'm selling motorcycles, doing my thing. And
Be like, man, somebody's motorcycle's really good. And think, nope, that's Don up there farting his brains out.
well, the stuff that they gave me is it was this 2-bottle thing, and so you drink one bottle during one day, but another bottle the morning,
Yeah.
the morning of, and it actually was it tasted lemon limey. It was actually pretty good as long as you made it cold, and so it's not like the old days. And I'm kind of
It's
driving
thick,
to
though,
something.
isn't it?
No, it wasn't bad at all. It just tasted a little more salty. You know, things a lot of salt can
Yeah.
give you the appearance of being thick, but it was fine. So I went in to, it's called Borland Groover, and it's this local place. And you're literally on a butthole assembly line. And I walk in there, and everybody's so nice in this place. Every one of those fucking nurses were smoking hot.
Of
All
course
of
they
them.
are.
There was Ashley. There's Amber. They all their fucking names started with an
He
A.
knows
The
their names,
anesthesiologist. And do you know who wanted to look at my butthole?
The hottest one of them all.
The fucking dude. The only
well,
dude in
you
there.
know.
The doctor. Dr. Warren. He was, listen, good guy.
Was he at least a good-looking man?
He was a good-looking guy.
All right, then.
And
there you
he, you know, and you know me long enough, man. I will find the fun in anything. And he's like, he said, great day for a colonoscopy. I said, every day's a great day for a colonoscopy. He was like, you make an interesting point. Sign me up for a new Maserati. You
yeah,
fucking dickhead. The anesthesiologist, who was also smoking, she's puts the little thing in there. She's like, all right, I'm going to start squirting this juice. And you turn over on your left side so the doc can see your booty hole. And I didn't give a fiddler's fuck about much anything. She said, it's going to sting a little bit going into your veins.
Spread them cheeks, boy.
Oh, no, you don't get to do anything.
No.
Because once the juice goes in, so it's going into my top of my
IV.
hand. She says, it's going to sting a little bit. I'm like, okay. So my goal was I wanted to focus kind of on how it felt, how long it took, this and that and the other. And it started going in, and I'm talking my way through it with everybody. We're all having a big laugh. And I'm like, that shit feels like somebody is running over my hand with a dump truck. She was like, yes. I said, it burns. And we're chit-chatting and laughing. I was like, all right. Oh, I said, now it's starting to fuck with my head a little bit. Everybody's laughing. I was like, all right. But that was the first time in my whole life that I actually kind of paid attention to the
Anesthesia
process
effects.
part of it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, night. And that's all I remember. It was over.
Oh, they fully knock you out?
Oh, yeah, you're fucking
yeah,
done.
yeah.
And the next thing I know, I'm waking up. My wife's in there. I mean, the fucking doctor had already come in there. I mean, clueless. They were like, wake up. I was like, no, fuck you. I'm sleeping like a bitch. This is great. So I say that to say this. If I ever commit a capital crime and I'm convicted to the death penalty, I want to go out that way. I want them to put the juice in my hand like that and just be like, okay, ooh, it feels like somebody's running over my hand with a dump truck. Whoop, night. And then that's it, because you will never fucking know or care, either one.
You're right.
true.
Yeah.
I remember everything, which was the first time, but I looked at it, I felt it, and I felt like I raised my head up, and I was like, oh no, that weighs a lot. And I put it back down on the pillow,
oh,
because
why
I
is my
turned
head
around to
so
talk to the
fat?
doctor, who was behind me looking at my butthole, while the smoking hot chicks were on this side over here. And I was just like, okay, night time. And that was the last thing I said. And I was out. I was done. For those of you out there listening to our show, it's 14 minutes out of your life you can never get back, even if you like it. And we're glad you're here. We love you. We appreciate you, especially here in season 2.
Scrambling to get my fucking license and car registration switched over to North Carolina finally after almost 3 years. Did it. However,
Living in
Like
crime.
the never.
I know. So got the license done, and then the next day had to go do the license plate. Well, I'm standing in line outside the license plate agency, 4 or 5 people back from the door, and all of a sudden this woman in slow motion saw it and was like, oh no, this is going to be real bad. She starts falling out, and I'm like, I bet you she's having a hypoglycemic situation happening. Sure as shit. So she fell out, and the guy who was standing in front of her is sitting there trying to help her up. Random guy in line behind her was like, I've got a water bottle in my car. Let me go get you water. Like, do you have glucose tablets? Do you have something to eat or drink or ingest to bring your sugar levels up or whatever? And so she drank the water, and I think she had a granola bar or something in her purse that would help bring it up. So she drinks all that, whatever. She's finally standing back up. Maybe 2 minutes later, falls out again.
Oh my God.
We were like, oh my God. Falls out. And then they get her sitting back up. And then all of a sudden, she vomits everything everywhere. And I was like, oh no. I'm a sympathy puker. I can't do this.
Me too.
So the girl who I was in line with the day before, who was like 2 people ahead of me, she calls 911, and they get an ambulance there for this woman. And she's like, her legs are like covered in vomit. I'm like, I mean, granted, it's predominantly water, but at the same time, it's still vomit.
Yeah.
So
Oh, the puke water.
ambulance and them get there, and they're checking her out, and they're like, do you want to go to the hospital? She goes, no, I need to get my license plate done. I'm
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
feel that, but
She's
like at the same
motivated,
time,
baby.
babe,
She's like, I'm
you
fucking here.
covered in vomit. So she
Yeah.
got herself up. And the people that were ahead of her and everything even grabbed her a number ticket so that if she were actually going to walk in, they'd be like, "Here,
Get
we
the
got you a
fuck
ticket."
out.
Yeah, they were so nice. Being in the South, I guess, I don't know.
There is hope for the world.
She came in and she freaking
I love
vomit.
that.
Oh
No,
my
I mean, I
God. See,
think
that
they
would've
helped
been-
clean her up a little bit, but that's dedication, man.
I would have lost my place in line because that would have been.
Jake would have been like,
no.
Nah, these
yeah,
people
Jake would have
grabbed
been
her a
like this,
ticket.
like, fuck you.
Like a
Well,
gag.
the
Now, just
people
think about it.
inside the license plate agency saw this all happening too, so they were like, as soon as she came in, they were like, we'll take you now," kind of thing. Like,
And I'm going to revisit the Dave Gaddis episode. And I'm not going to talk too much about this because it is pretty disgusting. But there's a chapter in the book. If you want to go listen to it, you can hear me struggle through this chapter. The chapter is called Bahama Mamas. And he was working with the Bahamian Special Forces group.
Yeah.
Him and some other guys went out the night before and got fucking tore up, fucking shit-faced.
oh no.
They had to be in a helicopter the next day. Dave was sitting there. He's like, oh, I'm going to fucking lose it. Not thinking, he tries to barf outside of the helo. And he did, and
I
it came
imagine
right
that
back in
was
the
an absolute
cabin.
shit show.
It started spraying people, and he said literally everybody was puking at that point. It was he turned it into a vomit party. By the time they landed, they were about ready to kick his ass.
Oh no.
But the way that he
poor
wrote it,
helo pilot who had to clean out that afterwards.
Oh, you
I-
can bet your ass it wasn't the
absolutely-
pilot that cleaned it up.
or whoever had to clean it up was probably like, what the
I had to do
fuck did
several
they
takes
do
on
in
that
here?
chapter because it was like it was funny, but it was disgusting at the same time in the way that he wrote it. But yeah, if you want a good laugh, Bahama Mamas, yeah.
When I was flying helicopters in the Navy, I had a little funny moment, and I was in training. Jet engine oil is called Mill 23699. This shit'll kill you. And I licked some off the side of the airplane, off the helicopter, flying 860s. And we have this big door, it's wide open. We're cruising. This qualified crew chief looked at me like, "You're an idiot, dude." I'm like, "Yeah, well, fuck off." And we're tough guys. And anyway, but we were on final. We were going to get some gas, and we were going to go to the Piedmont line. So this is how long ago it was. I'd met my future ex-wife there. I had puked out the door, and I had just eaten a big ham and cheese sub. And it went right out, and it came right back in, and it swirled. It was called the Flight of the Swirling Yack. And one of our crew chiefs, Jim Gorthy.
Oh no.
Gorth
Did you
Monster is
say
what
the flight of the swirling
this
yak?
is the Flight of the Swirling Yack. And Gorthy was a crew chief, door gunner. He'd been around for a long time, and he drew a picture. He would draw things, pencil drawings, and that fucking picture is still out there floating around somewhere. Me and Sparky puked out that fucking door. It sent puke swirling through that fucking cabin all the way up, hit the windscreen, the whole thing, all of this fucking 860. And we landed, and we taxied up, and we shut down. And my future ex-wife, she shows up on a Piedmont tow tractor, and she looks in there, and she was like, "Oh, honey, did you get sick?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She was like, "I'll be back." She came back. She had Windex and a fucking roll of Bounty paper towels. And
Windex?
I was like, "I'll clean it up." She was like, "No, I got this." I was like, "I think I'm in love." But yeah,
I'm gonna marry you and divorce you later, girl.
oh yeah, easily. Yeah, we were definitely getting divorced.
We now have the title of this episode, Flight of the Swirling Yak.
I was just about to say.
If I find that picture, I swear I'll send it out to you guys. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so
so
what
funny.
Dave was saying, when you try to puke out of a helicopter, it ain't happening, y'all.
No, it's gonna come right back 100-fold.
He said the Bahamian Special Forces guys were not happy by the time they
Oh,
landed.
I'm sure.
I was gagging while I was fucking narrating that part of the book, man. It was like, ooh.
I did listen to that book too. You did a great job on it, but I'll have to go back to that chapter.
Bahama Mamas. Yeah, I think it's
and
chapter 5.
redo that chapter and see if
Oh
I
my
pull anything
God.
out of that. By the way, for you and for those of you in What the Fuck Land, if you're not listening to Jake, is a narrator. He does audio books, and he's the narrator on several books out there.
So
and
if you want more of that smooth
you
ass
want that
voice,
fucking hey,
go look up
ladies.
some audibles with
That's
him.
right, baby.
The Noble Experiment.
Noble
by Dave
Experiment.
Gaddis.
Dave Gaddis. Dave picked Jake out of a group, and Jake did it just half-assed. One, and like, I ain't even going to get this gig, and he did. And frankly, as judgmental as I can be, Jake, you did a great job on that. It's a fucking
thank you.
phenomenal
Thank you. I
book.
appreciate
Dave did a great job on that book, and yeah, it's worth listening to for sure.